And here we are again. So this is the second simultaneous stream on the Board Game Hacker slash Board Game Club, as well as Tin Robot Games Facebook page.
I hope we got it this time. I think we got it. Let's see.
I think we got it this time. So this one's going to be really quick. So we're talking about the gray squirrel. We kind of led into this on our last chat when we went through the white squirrel.
And just to recap, anyone who might have missed any of those, probably people on my page, working on a game coming up on Kickstarter called
Nutty Squirrels.
There it is.
The board game.
Yes. If you're interested in finding out more, you could just go click the link in the description in either one of our streams. But carry on, James.
Yeah, and certainly follow along the Kickstarter preview page. Bobby put the link there. If you click that, you'll be notified when this goes live. But yeah, so we're working on this game. This game's going to go to Kickstarter at the end of the year. We've been going through the different characters. You can follow those along on either of our pages as well. The current character that we're working on is the gray squirrel. So we have 6 different character colors that we're trying to produce using the talent of Mitch DeSlep out of Ontario. Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And these are just rough sketches, but to give you an idea of some of the flavor or vibe that we're going for. So I'm going to share my screen here really quickly.
Sure. And last time we were looking at the white squirrel. And
the white squirrel, trying to decide, do we do black eyes or red eyes? And based on a poll you actually ran, which was kind of neck and neck, we kind of made the decision afterwards that the discussion that came out of that was really where the gold was there for us. And end up changing my mind. I started off thinking red eyes is the way to go, and we end up deciding to go with black eyes. So thank you everyone who participated in that. Certainly keep the suggestions coming. It definitely gets the creative juices flowing on this side. And again, everything is kind of work in progress. So some of this feedback actually will make an impact. So thanks in advance. So I'm sharing my screen here, which shows kind of the first cut of this gray squirrel. So this idea that we had was talking with Mitch that, if we have a gray squirrel, what if he was older? Think naturally gray hair, gray squirrel. Maybe the gray squirrel is older. Actually, I think the old was actually Mitch's idea.
He's got like a crotchety sort of look to him, right?
Yeah. So this is the first cut where it's kind of like, you bring me back those acorns, you rotten little kids.
Yeah.
And so this I thought was an amazing first sketch. And as we kind of talked it through, Mitch said, well, what if I come at it from a different angle? And he said, what if we come at it from a kind of a gentle wise old squirrel, right? So more of the facial hair has got more of this wispy kind of beard, bushier eyebrows, more of that kind of longing look in his eyes.
A sage-like squirrel as opposed to a crotchety squirrel.
Yeah, okay. And what I had asked him is I said, what would be kind of funny is this squirrel carrying acorns over his life. Well, if his cheeks started to sag, right, from having acorns in his cheeks, over his lifespan. So we took the shot at kind of showing these cheeks kind of sagging, which we thought was kind of funny, having these saggy cheeks as an old squirrel.
Happens to all of us, James. Not just the squirrels.
That's true. Some inspiration there, perhaps. So from there, as Mitch and I were talking back and forth, we said, what if it's a combination of the two? And again, these are rough sketches. That's why the style looks slightly different. So using Photoshop, and this is kind of a piece of advice maybe for others out there who are doing their own games or working with an artist. Sometimes you don't have to redo all the artwork. If you have any kind of competency, either in Photoshop or even MS Paint, you can do half these similar things. Is to maybe if you are trying to communicate something, you can kind of cut and paste different images and create what I call as a comp. So I created this comp where I took the head of the squirrel, very roughly pasted it on the body of the other squirrel, and wanted to kind of see, what was the vibe there. And I think where we landed is we really like the cane. I like the idea of the cane because I think that definitely says, this is an older squirrel. Like the big saggy cheeks, he only has one tooth actually. His other teeth have fallen out of his mouth with age. So we may look at opening his mouth up a bit, so still have him maybe talking. Maybe he doesn't have his other fist in the air. Maybe his other hand is on the cane. but I think we're kind of getting to where we want to get to on the squirrel. The tail maybe is going to be laying down. If we go back to the other one, you could see the tail was more up in the air, big bushier tail. So we haven't fully landed on there, and I'd like to get people's thoughts on what do they think of this squirrel. Do they like the rich old man? Do they like more the Gentile old squirrel? Or like we've got here, the kind of the rough comp between, do they see maybe somewhere in between? It'd be great to get some people's feedback on that. One thing I was thinking of in the car on the way, back to the office here today was this is like a geriatric squirrel. So what if we called him Jerry? Maybe that's his name. Maybe he's Jerry.
Jerry the squirrel.
Jerry the geriatric squirrel. So again, if people have thoughts on that, we'd love to hear it. And guarantee there's something we're not thinking of that will come out of some of the discussion. But that's kind of where we're at on this gray squirrel. What are your thoughts, Bobby? What do you think? This is the first time you're seeing it.
Well, I wouldn't want to move anyone one direction or the other, but I mean, to me, I immediately jumped at the crotchety. I was like, that's the guy I want to play. I want to play the get off my lawn kind of guy. But I like the look of the other one too. So maybe we should do a poll or something and kind of just get a little informal feedback and see if it's very even, then we'll have to do some more thinking, or maybe one of them will jump ahead in a way that might surprise us.
Yeah, so why don't I do that? So let's create the two. So I won't put the comp up, but we'll put the two and get kind of a feel for that in terms of a poll. Definitely throw comments in, guys. We read all the comments, and they were helpful, quite frankly, because again, it got us really thinking and discussing, and that's what we want, discussion going on this, so we can kind of figure out, okay, is this the way to go? What I'm starting to see is definitely polls seem to be swinging towards more extreme things, right? So it'll be interesting to see how this one, I have my theories on how this poll will go. But be sure to put the comments, because we love the comments.
The comments help,
That's the gold there for me, for sure. It
right,
really helps
because with the white squirrel, even though it was pretty close, we could tell that one direction or the other kind of left some people with a more negative feeling, yep. Whereas the other, when it was that close, it was like, well, why alienate anyone, right? So yeah, we might find some good information in the comments. So yeah, let's do another poll. Let's get some good feedback, and we really appreciate everybody watching this, everybody commenting, participating in the poll. It really helps out. And James,
absolutely,
looks like you cut out a little bit. All right, we're back.
You cut out.
Yeah, no, it's my fault. I gotta get the internet fixed down here. It's a new basement.
No worries. But yeah, so the poll, absolutely, let's get this poll going, and maybe let's let it cook for maybe 48 hours, and then we'll come back and kind of get people's thoughts. And I'll talk with Mitch as well and get his thoughts. I know he's already started on the action cards. So for those who haven't been following along, we have these action cards that are part of this grid that we're filling out, and he's got some interesting thoughts there that I'd love to get some people to weigh in on as well, which is pretty cool. So this has been fun.
Yep. So what you guys, if you're still watching, what you could do is look out for the poll. That'll be coming in the Board Game Club in the next day or so. And definitely click that link for the Kickstarter. Just hit the button. Just get notified when this is coming out. Do us a favor. It makes us look cool. It isn't looking cool what it's all about. Isn't that what we're talking about here with all this artwork?
I think so.
We want everyone to look cool. We want to look cool. So yeah, definitely hit that button. So all right, we'll be posting some polls. We'll be doing more videos real soon.
Sounds good, guys. Talk soon. Cheers.